Okay. Thank you for joining in the morning. I think, as I heard, we've almost crossed 1,000, 1,200, 300 people out there. I'm sure you will have a lot of your friends joining us here. So hope you enjoy relationships here, right? Because event is built for relationships. I'm very clear out here that in the event, content makes all the impact, right? And you need to have ensure that you have peers out there who are working in the similar area so you can collaborate. So a lot of engagements we are trying to do in these 2 days. In terms of the agenda we have set for the session, I just want to give a quick view. The markets are changing, right? When we started these sessions, maybe around, maybe many years back, let me not go in history, many years back, we started our journey almost 9 years back. The events were about, okay, what happens in Singapore Fintech Festival, try to copy, right? Many of you also would have flown out there in Singapore and tried to figure out what happens. And I always felt that we as a team, as Indians, had no respect there. Let me be honest, I have traveled enough times out there to feel fully disrespected, right? Nobody bothered about what India was. And I remember saying once time that Mumbai will become a fintech hub of Asia. And I can tell you the kind of rebuke I got from the market saying, India, man, nothing is possible, everything is down, policies are bad, nothing can happen. I'm not talking far back, it's 8 years back. Today we are in a journey. We are the center of the world, which is where the entire transformation is happening. So I think the world has changed from where we were looking at east or west for guidance. Everybody's looking at us as center. So thank you guys for making it happen. All of you have made it happen. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. When we talk in the world about what we do, I can tell you that everywhere you go, you get respect. Everywhere. Anybody who calls talks about it. And I think when we say this, we need to be humble enough to understand that we have to take the same change to the market. Whatever we have done is not easy, but we have been able to do it at different pricing, at different scale. If we can take this to the market, that'd be great. But anyway, I think markets have shifted. I'll talk about from a theme perspective. The theme was individually how fintechs can build their own businesses. A lot of transformation has happened to what the ecosystem should do. We as a team should do. So that's a maturity of last 8-9 years. From the ecosystem perspective, are we ahead of the market? We are ahead of the market in many areas. Lending, payments and banking. Wealth and InsurTech are still an area of focus. We've started our India InsurTech Summit some time back. And last year we did the first one. We will do something on wealth as well. So I think there's a lot of work to be done in those areas. But this year's agenda, what we will see much more is about supply chain finance. Supply chain finance is an area where, I'll be honest, I have been working for 25 years, 30 years actually. And I did not know too much until a couple of years back because this ecosystem, I thought there are a lot of options there, but it's not there. Can you ask somebody to just reduce the volume out there? So supply chain finance is something which we will focus on. Merchant acquiring, I don't know, how many of bankers here? Yeah? I don't know why we gave up on merchant acquiring. There's so much of engagement out there. There's so much of work, so much of money can be built. If we just don't focus on merchant acquiring, we will have challenges because for merchant acquiring is nothing but managing customers' cash management, which is receivables primarily, right? If you don't manage receivables, what is car all about? What is the zero balance account, current account all about? So we talk about it. We talk about cash management a lot. Data privacy, data protection, we are in a DPI environment. We are talking about everybody ensuring that data is well managed. So that's an area of choice. And of course, generically, each session you go, there's a depth out there. We built this agenda. It took us 6 months to build. 6 months to get the right speakers, right agenda, right structure. And it is not, none of the content is built for frivolously. Even the speaker side, anybody has come. Anybody you will see in next 2 days would have prepared a lot. Each panel has been maneuvered, understood what should be the customers are looking at, what participants are looking at it. And that's how we built. So I think the agenda is to ensure that we go deep in content. It's not about increasing size. We remain how many of you attended this session earlier too? Yeah? We will not increase size. I'm very clear about it because the content is lost. We will have maybe 10 halls, 5 halls. We remain here or we will remain to the quantity where the engagements can happen. You are not scared of each other, right? Saying how many people are there. In terms of bank infrastructure and all, I think I'm very clear that I remember getting thrown out. So I was not a junior guy in my earlier days. I was senior in that organization. But I entered a treasury room, and somebody was very upset. How can a technology guy enter a treasury room? I was building the whole structure for them, right? I built that treasury platform. And you're saying, how can you enter? Technology guys have nothing to do with it. Okay, incidentally, I'm also an MBA and I'm also a normal person, but nobody likes technology, right? Everybody hates them, saying that there are some dumb idiots sitting in the corner doing it. I think technology is in the center. Technology is what will decide institutions' future. It is not a tech decision anymore, it's a business decision. And business and future, anybody who invests in technology properly, so you'll see a lot of sessions around technology and digital, which are deep insights, and I've spoken to every person, every CTO, every CDO in last few days, and everybody is really, really conscious about how they are building, how tech architectures are done, because if you don't do it, if everybody becomes a CTO in the bank, you will have disaster on the table. So I think everybody who's in business, try to understand technology better and work closely with your technology team, because saying them that they are bad is okay, but remember, can you build a metro station? You can say that I can repair the road or you can do this, but can you build metros? Technology is like metros. You have to go underground and solve for it. It's tough. So I think that level of latitude has to be given to them. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk a lot about business, right? How revenues can grow. So you have a lending track running, you will have a payment track running, and all of that. So I think all in all, what we are trying to say and assure is that this summit should give you some insights and inputs which you can take to regular business, right? So with this, I actually will start with a quick session on what we saw. When we started our journey almost 9 years back, we used to call ourselves a fintech consulting firm, okay? It was idiotic. 9 years back, when you say you are a fintech consulting firm, you are who? Who? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Why as a CTO you are left? Were you fired? Okay, and there was no concept of thinking about it. There was a lot of choices we have. A lot of people were reaching out to us. Then, do you want to take funds? Can you build something? You know, a lot of stuff. But I mean, that's a charm which we could always had. But I wanted to build an Indian consulting firm. The reason why it's called Digital Fifth. Anybody has a guess why it's called the Digital Fifth? We wanted to build an alternative to the global giants, right? Big three and big four. And I'm not saying we are going to replace them, but we need an alternative, which is local by nature. You have HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, you have everything local. But when it comes to consulting, we are just saying that we can't do it. Can Indians not do it? Are we incapable? Yeah, we need to be voicing about that, right? So we wanted to build it. It's not that we are the best guys. I'm not here to say that you should take consulting from me, but I'm just saying there is a need for Indian consulting firm because we are local, we are rooted deep into it, and the expectations are very different. It's because everybody is relationship based. But I'll talk through it. And I think I'll take it from what we heard, what we understood. I think June last year was when first time I heard that even the PMO office is talking right now about this framework where they're looking at Indian consulting firms, first time ever. I think I've been talking about for 9 years, and I suddenly saw a ray of hope that even the government is going to help us out. But I think it's a great initiative. What it would mean to us is we'll get support largely from boards, because boards is where we rejected get often because nobody wants to work beyond the global giants, right? So I think that's something which we'll talk about. But what we will do, we'll talk about. And today, even in the policy, or we had recently the budget. Even the budget, it was announced by our finance minister, honorable finance minister, where she said that they will focus on this area and they're going to change some frameworks, which means that today I can't apply for a PSU because for a consulting because the minimum barrier is 500 crores. For revenues, I mean, how can we have 500 crores, which means that we can never get it, right? So that's something which we are looking at. But let's look at it. What is going to change in India? I think if you look at past, there's always a focus on global stuff, right? We will learn from globe. We'll learn this from that. We'll learn from that country. The fact of the matter is I've worked in US and long enough. I've worked in Europe long enough. I think very little, there will be at least 5 to 10 years behind us in many areas. In almost all areas we largely operate in. That's a proud moment for us that we are ahead in many areas. So Consulting anchor used to work beautifully. I can even be honest, let's say 10, 15, 20 years back, it used to work beautifully. We used to say that every technology can be outsourced. I remember, I don't know if you remember, many banks had moved the technology out, early stage, saying that technology is not core. I remember in my city days, technology was moved out. Now technology is core. So what were they advising, right? So there was a consulting framework. There was a state's role was, even the government was always supporting and working with those consulting firms also. That was the original structure, and even now it is there. This linear project, KPIs, there's a lot of focus on pumping people. You will end up with some 20 people when the 5 can do or 4 can do. I think that's the logic. Talent largely looking at top-notch MBAs and early stage guys who can give consulting across width of areas. I know in banking it's not possible. Bank is not possible. If you don't know regulation, if you don't know what the process is, you really can't sustain. You will build something which will not work. I just want us to be conscious. A lot of work can be done better if we understand the context. You can't have a scenario where your customer can end up with regulatory issues. If you don't know regulation inside out by heart, word by word, you can't consult in those areas. And of course, institution bias was always about replicating what somebody else has done, right? If you have a context, for example, oh, this bank has done, let me just replicate. I think just a model getting copied without understanding the empathy to the customer set of your entity. You are running a bank, you are running an NBFC, you are running a, let's say, affordable housing finance. Today, when we do affordable housing finance, we go to the branch, seat the customer. I think we went to Kalyan branch of the customer and figured out what's happening out there. If you don't do it, how do you understand who the customer is? It's complete sort of no-no. So India first model will be different because it's DPI-led. We need to understand what is happening now, what's going to happen later, and how you can leverage that to cut your costs. Government is actually facilitator. I think the fact is that we are a private company, right? I'll be honest. Can we get support from UIDAI? You can see the support, right? It's amazing support you're getting from regulator, you're getting from every entity. It is what something I can't imagine why people are supporting, but its state is also coming up across. It's also adaptive. I'll be honest, every consulting work we have done, every time it changes. The context is changed, content is changed. We end up learning that we were doing it we can do much better next time. So I think it's very adaptive, and of course, by the time you do something, regulator would have added some more regulations to the process, right? Something would have changed. I think today, for example, UIDAI is launching, something would have changed, right? So we are in such a dynamic environment that it has to be adaptive. If you still talk about past, it won't work. Talent Vint, I somehow feel, and I'm very conscious about it, you will see in my team, and I'm sure when you hire, I think we are looking at more passionate people rather than just top-end colleges guys, right? We need people who are passionate about getting things done, passionate about transforming environment, right? Can you make an impact to the ecosystem? That is the focus, and of course, institution biases. Somewhere you have to ensure that you can build from scratch. So a lot of people will say, oh, can you do this? Can you build from scratch as well, right? So let's talk through it. So key point is we move from a global playbook, and then suddenly India stack emerge, and a lot of localization and local data structures will come. Now we with the focus of India first imperative, we believe that in next maybe 10 years, at least 3 to 4 large players will emerge. Who those are, I don't know. Will we be one of them? It's anybody's guess. We will be able to scale if we do it right. If we are stupid enough to just run on numbers and make it not able to replicate success everywhere properly, we are screwed, right? So I'm very conscious about, I'm not saying that we are the best guys, but it's a journey out there. In terms of what is going to happen, I think I also believe that the focus across segments will not work. We believe that over a period of time, you will have very segmental entities coming in. Somebody who works in banking, somebody who works in e-commerce. We've already seen some in other industries as well. Somebody who works only in, let's say, maybe in medical field, right? Because that level of depth is required. That's when you can replicate. Otherwise, you can't compete in the market, right? That's what's going to happen. We will also see people who have access to new data points, right? For example, a lot of times we understand more because we understand from the market better, and we also have access to people who will tell that this is going to happen, this is what we're going to do, predictions are there. That's something which is more ecosystem play. Even here, I think, I'm sure when you sit across, you will learn a lot from the market. We will not use templates. Even today, we've been working for 9 years. We don't have templates. We do something, we keep it as a repository, but come back. When we do any new work, we say, forget what we have done, it's all zero. Even for this Bharat Fintech Summit, we scratched everything out, what we did last year. Everything was thrown away. We rebuilt it ground up, saying that what we did was useless, it was past, let's rebuild with the agenda which is different. Strong institution memory, so we have a relationship with all. You will suddenly realize that we know everyone. And what it is, they're not my customers. I'll be honest, they're not my customers. They're friends. They're somebody who can reach out to us and we can reach out to them. It can be in banks, it can be institutions, it can be in education institutes. The relationships are what is going to bring, because markets are going to change so rapidly, so we can sort of work on that. And of course, it's built on trust, right? So zero availability. We are very visible, and I'm sure many of us guys will be visible. We have to build on trust. We can't replicate through throwing money out here and there. Zero out there. So I think just to tell you that why consulting is so tough, and how many of you are running consulting firm here or want to run consulting? Okay? It is one of the toughest business, okay? One of the toughest business, because while you're building consulting, your own company, you are building somebody else's company. So at any point of time, you are building somebody's strategy, and that, I will be honest, I built it better for them than for us. Because you are passionate about getting it done, so your customer has to be ultra successful. So I think it's very inherently people hungry, right? It would be like that, and it will remain like that. You do whatever it is. So because, and at one point, many will say that consulting will get away because of ChatGPT. So I think there's a dialogue out there, right? When ChatGPT ends is when our work starts. Because our customers also have ChatGPT, and they also have all the tools, they also have all the MBAs, they also have all the knowledge. I think that's about getting it to the next stage. So I think it will remain very, very people hungry. In terms of credibility, cannot be accelerated. So sometimes I used to get a question that after so many years, we're just 30 people. It cannot be accelerated. It's like wine. It can only improve with time. You can't say, okay, cook harder, throw more people, acquire so many people. It won't work. It will be a slow burner. It can't be accelerated much faster than that, because then you will have credibility issues coming up. That's something I want everybody who's building it to be careful about. It is the knowledge compounds with time. I'll be honest, where we started, we did not know much about home loan LAP, okay? How to transform them. We did not know about merchant acquiring. We did not know about so many things. You work harder and you get through. I'll be honest that there are so many supporters out there in the market who will come across and help you, who will pull you through. So I think, but it will take time. Nobody can know entire banking even after so many years. I can tell, I know maybe 3-4% of the banking ecosystem. It's so complicated. So many things are interdependent out there, but you have to work through it and get it across. Economics are not venture-like. So many of you will have to put your own money, effort, and all out to get through. So I think first 2 years I was alone, and then with the team come across. Every time you create profits is when you invest in the company and you hire more people. So we have moved 1 to 30, and I'm sure many would. The VC kind of funding cannot come in, because if VC kind of funding can come in, then you are looking for IPO. And if an IPO has to happen, then it's a very different world, right? You have to just accelerate everything. In 7 years, if I have to build can you just ensure that the noise is not there in the next one? So if you have to, for that to happen, you have to generate a revenue of maybe $1 billion over a period of time. In this business, $1 billion creating like that will be too risky, right? You will end up creating, you will start creating issues for your customers. You will have to sort of show something incorrect face, which is not correct, right? So I think economics are not venture-like. If you are doing it, I think it won't work. I think there are a lot of shifts required in the market. I'll talk about a few shifts right now. Right now, institution has a bias. Procurement is still short-term, so if somebody is looking at 2 months engagement, 3 months engagement, and they're always doing a negotiation on pricing for that. But the fact of the matter is, consulting would have to be long-term with your partners. It can't be short-term, because somebody comes in, shows you something and leaves. Institutional memory is very important, right? So you should know each other. I can tell you that some of the banks I've worked with the same consulting firm for ages. So I think that memory is crucial. You have to get there. So you need to move towards outcome-based structures where you can work. A lot of times we give outcome commitments, including once I gave a commitment that their throughput transactions will happen in 10 minutes. Like MSME onboarding will happen in 10 minutes. It happened, right? So it used to take some time, and it became 10 minutes because we committed to it. It's something which you have to work with, right? And of course, board and everybody should trust. It will take time. I'll be honest. Even today, we get rejected by board several times. It happens. I think patience is a crucial key. You'd have to live with it because they're not against you. You're not just proving yourself. So please do not feel any point in time you're looking at, even from those guys who are not buying from us. I totally get that, right? Because it's logical, right? Nothing wrong. Who wants to buy from Ravi t-shirt, right? We want to buy Louis Philippe, something which is foreign brand, right? So if it's Ravi brand you want, it takes time, right? It will happen. I'm sure Satya Paul people buy, right? So it will take time. Talent flow, I think we should look at more experiential guys to come in, very senior guys to come in to sort of support. So I think something which we are still working on, and it's a work in progress. Economic expectations must be reset. You can't have a revenue structures coming in saying, I'll add 20 more people now in every quarter or every month, and scale will come. You will go down that wrong path. I've seen enough guys going that path, scaling up fast and sort of dying. And I think, again, this event itself is about ecosystem building, right? So I think you need to ensure that you work closely with the ecosystem. They will take you far, nobody else. They will take you far. I remember writing something for Economic Survey of India, I think 2020 or 21, where the idea was that can we build a common framework for all PSUs. Today, PSB Alliance exists, but we wrote that letter almost 5 years back. Me and Shashank had written long-term pack. So things will happen. Ecosystem will come and support you in many ways and ask for your support. I just can't imagine how I can go, I don't know, South Block or North Block. But they invited me. I was just a few member team. I think what our value proposition is deep engagement. No nonsense, right? We can tell you that we should not do it. We are being honest. And if you force us to do it, we'll say we are known like your idea. But if you want to force us, we will do it. But you will lose money on the table. We'll be direct with forever. That's how the brutal, honest framework is. Practitioner's approach, I will not make you burn capital. A lot of times we want to ensure that we want to burn capital, right? So for example, I want to charge $1 million so that I can, so that overall project becomes $10 million. Most of the digital transformation can be done in 1/10 the cost. That's my promise to you. We just spend. We think that it will happen only after we spend 500 crores. I don't know where that idea comes. Those programs don't know where, but the billing keeps happening. So I think we are very clear. We are practitioners. I used to be a CTO of a bank for long. I worked with Finacle for long. I worked with a lot of entities in the market, right? From Finacle, Wipro. I was with DCB as a CIO. I've done Kotak. It's just practical work, right? I'm not throwing in. None of us are consulted. None of the 30-member team is a consulting background. Network effect, people support, and people support all the time. This whole event was done without a paid marketing done at all. How many of you knew our name earlier? It's an ecosystem effect, right? So you need to work on the network and thought leadership. You have to be way ahead of the market. People do come to you to ask, kya hone wala hai? Can you be accurate there? Can you really do the research on that, right? I think what are we good in? We work a lot on strategy side with people. Lot of strategy work we do in the market. Lot of strategy work. Honestly, when 6 years back, first strategy work we came, we said we are lost. We were reading marketing books. Ki kya batana hai, right? Ki wo Porter's law, ye law, and then we realized, okay, this is how it is to be done. Practical. Talk to people. Figure out a touch. Understand the thesis behind it. Understand people, and then come back with jo dil se aata hai wo karo. Documentation can always be done, but you have to get your thoughts correct, right? Because templates will give you some output. We can do governance. We run a lot of program management office for people. Transformation is a core for us. Execution is what we do. We build a lot of frameworks in the market. Many of you would have seen Money Control as an app where you can do lending and FD. That again, our team with them had built strategy and execution. We have done work with Tally. We have worked with so many people in the market, and a lot of products you see in the market are built by our team. Recently, we had create on line on UPI again between a Paytm and Surya the bank. That is again built by our team. You will see a lot of artifacts out there. We work on a lot of launch stuff, lot of readiness in the market, market competition benchmark, process benchmark, architecture reviews, DPDP. We have started working with a lot of DPDP. So again, deep work in the market, no frivolous. We don't give any bodies saying that 3 bande bhej do. That's something which we are very, very against. This is a set of customers we have been able to, and I'm really thankful to each one of them who trusted us. They all had the chance to go anywhere and everywhere, but they have worked with us in multiple areas. We work with banks, we work with a lot of large fintechs, embedded finance, international, so we are trying to work a lot globally. And I'll tell you the thesis is that Africa and Middle East is the target segment because they have a same ethos, same framework, same, and they're very simple wise to work with. There's the way we are, there's the way they are. So it's something we are looking at. Training is something which we lived with initially, and of course we work with a lot of other entities and VCs and PEs as well. So you'll see a PE flavor also today. So a lot of PEs are coming as well in the event. Tons of stuff, 30-member team, almost 160 projects we would have done by now. The work is still in work in progress. From a one-man army to getting founders together, and then now we have a team, and this is fourth edition of Bharat Fintech Summit. Again, it is done by this team only, right? And we do consult day and night, or weekend and nights we work actually on event management. So a lot of times you think that we are event managers. We are not. We just do one event like that in a year. Again, ideas that can be engaged together. I think it's a long-term game. I think hard truths, it is not a SaaS platform, and it will not be removed by Anthropic at all. It is a tough game. Somebody will do it when the sentiments work with you. You want to talk to someone. As long as the business are run by humans, consulting of this kind will remain. Credibility cannot be manufactured by it all, and focus has to be on. You will lose a lot of business because a lot of times we say no, we can't do it. A lot of times we'll say we don't have a skill set around that. You have to say no all the time if you want to get it right. So that's a thesis which we have. Maybe we spoke a lot about it. I think maybe our focus is on BFSI because it's complicated. Policies keep changing. Compliance requirements keep changing. Co-lending regulations will change. Recently, RBI changed all regulations. All of them rewrote. How many of you have seen rewritten regulations? All of them were written. So you have to be up to speed. And a DPI-led architecture, बहुत कुछ अलग है. And I think I'll just move to the last slide maybe. I believe that with what we have built in India, a lot of movement will happen to Africa and other countries out there because we are very similar by nature. A lot of empathy for what we have done in India. Those countries are also tired of paying in millions of dollars to other countries which are basically coming from West. So they need somebody who is coming from India. Recently, we've started some engagement. All partners are from India, right? So that's what I see. It's a thesis which is getting played. So I think India capability will travel there, and that's where we want to be in. We want to work in India, but produce a lot of stuff for those countries, and there's a lot of business out there for. And I hope when we do it, fintechs from India will get a chance to work out there, and startups from there will get a chance to work in India as well. So I think that's the intent which we have. We have to travel out there. I think we have to just move away from what we were or what we were thinking earlier. I think we are looking at scale. We will work together. In fact, first time we have put in our stall a place where we are also hiring. So we are scaling, but again we are looking at passionate people. I think some passionate people will be able to find here to scale together, right? So with this, I think I need to pause. I think thank you guys, and this is going to be a rocking day. Stay around 2 days. Every session is handcrafted. Every track is handcrafted. Enjoy. Speakers have prepared a lot for it, okay? So just enjoy these 2 days. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.